Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Project Unity. I'm your host, Ola, and I'm very happy to have you here with us today. And today I have a special guest with me. Could you please introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah. Hello, guys. My name is Laura. I'm a Spanish volunteer, and I'm really happy to be here with you today.
And I'm a volunteer from Romania. And to give you a small idea about this project that we're doing, it's called Unity, and it basically aims at facilitating help for refugee children to help them come out of the situation that they're in. And we use activities, different methods, techniques to teach the children and provide a feeling of home for them, a feeling of belonging. And I would like to ask you, Laura, why did you choose this project?
Well, I believe there were several options, and I believe this option will suit me better. But the main idea is that this project really reflects the situation we're living in worldwide. There are like lots of conflicts, lots of wars, a lot of people with an unstable situation. So I believe that we're all responsible for how we shape the world we live in.
And making a change in the world. Yeah.
And because of that, I believe that this project was the one that suited more without my life moment and how we could all help here.
I understand. And do you have like a special, let's say, feeling towards children specifically?
I believe that they are one of the most vulnerable groups right now.
That's so true.
And although we are all responsible for where we live in, they are the ones that are less responsible.
Exactly, and they don't get much attention actually. People forget that children are the future. They're the ones who will literally shape our future, so we need to work on them more than any other group.
I agree on that.
Yeah. And so during this project, now we're during our first week of training, and it's a duration of 37 days. The other 3 weeks will be where we actually work with the children. So during the training week right now, we are volunteers from Spain, and I'm a volunteer from Romania, and there are also volunteers from Italy, Turkey, and am I missing? And Jordan as well, yes. So we're all participating together during the activities and practicing how are we going to apply them with the children. And there was so many things that we learned during this week, but I would like to ask you, what are the most important lessons that you learned during this training week?
Well, there were a lot. This was, even though we have been here like for 5 days, more or less, it was a really intense week.
Yeah.
And we've been learning and sharing space with each other for like 24/7. So there were a lot of things we learned. Maybe one of the most important things was that since we are all from different countries and we come from a different background with different cultures, we should learn how to coexist with each other, how to communicate with people who are not from the same culture as you are is key for understanding them, for avoiding conflicts, and for creating something that will have a positive impact afterwards.
Of course.
So learning how to respect others' ideas and beliefs, and not just respect, but also learn how to use all that learning
Exactly.
so that you can create something beautiful and useful for the project, but also in life is one of the most important lessons. What do you think?
I believe so too. I really believe so too, because also while we learn about each other's cultures, and there are so many things that we saw from each other's cultures because we spent the whole day together, we ate together, we used the same common rooms and everything. And I feel like that will really help us to teach the children those things after we experience them, after we learn from them. So I really totally agree with you.
Yeah. Teach them, and also these children come from a different country as well. They come from a different culture. So we should adapt and understand them as well.
Exactly, because we will provide that feeling for them, and I think that's a really great opportunity, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the second thing,
Yeah.
the second most important thing that we learned would be how to be a volunteer, because nowadays it's like trendy to be a volunteer, volunteerism, like this white complex savior is a real thing.
Exactly.
So how to truly approach a difficult situation and with the energy that you have and with the resources that you have, help in the way they need you,
Exactly.
in the way they need to be helped,
Yep.
not how we think.
Exactly, because we need to develop the identity of a real volunteer that actually makes a positive impact on the world inside of us, rather than showing it outwards to the world like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But what's important is developing that identity inside of you. I agree with you.
Do you remember the video that we watched that Santiago told us?
Yes, exactly.
Like, that was like a funny video, but it's the perfect example of how volunteerism works. And here we're learning how to actually
Be a volunteer.
Yeah.
Exactly. And how it's different than all the stereotypes that we see all over the world. It's way different than that. And voluntary work doesn't necessarily have to be where you rescue people, or just you have to do something really intense to be considered as a volunteer. Voluntary work can be just drawing with children and helping them express themselves, their feelings, and just giving them a safe space.
Yeah, for example, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And well, of course, we learned a lot about how to be this kind of volunteers for this project, because we're going to be working with children. So we need to learn how to be sort of summer camp monitors,
Exactly.
but like adapting to their situations. So we learned about universal games, energizers.
We had so many activities, honestly. It was very fun. I felt like I was actually being a child while I was practicing those activities. Yeah.
Completely agree. We had an amazing time and we learned a lot from other volunteers. So
Yeah.
we were all trying to help and come up with ideas.
Exactly. And that takes me to the next question that I want to ask you. How do you think the energizers activities and all the things that we learned, like the giant dollhouse method and all that, a brief explanation of the giant dollhouse method, which I believe was one of the most important techniques that really took, for me personally, I feel like it would really help the children. And it's basically where we make our own homes in a box, and by using different materials, it can be anything, wrappers, plastic, paper, whatever it is, to create a miniature home. And we learned this technique and we had to do it ourselves, so we can actually feel what those children are going to feel like when they do this thing. And how do you think it will impact them?
Well, okay, several things. First of all, the energizers, for example, as well as the rest of the games, I feel that if we felt that we were kids playing them, they will feel that as well. And in these kind of situations with refugee children, for example, I feel that a lot of the time they don't have the opportunity to just be kids, to just enjoy playing, to just enjoy being with friends and doing what a kid does.
Exactly.
So these energizers, which are like really fun, quick activities, these games will, at least I hope, will let them feel as just kids enjoying their time.
Exactly, and find a home, because most of them probably had their homes taken away from them. So I feel like when they get the chance to create their own home in a way that they can actually see it in front of them, it will really make them feel like they can create home wherever they are, not necessarily in one place, or to just make them feel like they belong wherever they are, you know?
Yes, like regarding the giant doll house, as you said, I believe the first part will be to give them the opportunity to express
Exactly.
either what they lost or what they are building right now, because most of them are like, well, yes, they are in a foreign country, but maybe they had a chance to create something new. So expressing how they felt and how they are feeling in a safe environment
Exactly.
with us, with people who will care about them and be there to support them, and also to think about what they want, because that's the thing, right? They are starting a new chapter in their lives. They didn't choose it, and it's not fair at all, but in starting this new chapter they have the opportunity to start their home, their
Exactly.
concept of home. So those are the most important points of the giant doll house method for me.
Yes, thank you so much. And do you feel like it's a big responsibility for you to go and work with these children after this training week?
I mean, I'm really scared and nervous about that, because of course you always have a responsibility when interacting with other people, but especially with vulnerable groups. They are kids, they lost their homes, they are not in an stable situation, so we are going to be a reference for them, right?
Exactly, yes.
So a reference, a safe place for at least a month, a home for this
Of course,
month.
for this period of time, yeah.
So I believe it's a big responsibility, because you always have an impact on people. So I feel nervous, and I feel also excited, because all the volunteers here, from what I've seen, have the best intention in their hearts. They are all coming from a place of love.
Exactly, and that's actually what's the most thing that attracted me about this project, is because it's called Unity, and I truly felt united in this project with all the volunteers.
You're completely right.
And as much as it's scary it is to, and nerve-wracking it is to have that much of a responsibility, it's such a great honor, you know.
It is. I feel we are like truly blessed to have the opportunity to be here, help them, help, and I'm sure they will also help us.
Exactly, I
So-
believe so too. It's like an exchange of knowledge in many different ways. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, I also wanted to make like special mention to our training
Yes.
course monitors, Santiago and Elena,
Yes.
because I feel without them this project would have been completely different. And they've helped us like in every step of the way, and they've always been there for us. So I believe that a special part of the project and of this kind of volunteers that we are right now
Exactly.
is because of them.
A huge thank you to our mentors, because honestly, I feel like they sometimes went above their capability to provide a really comfortable space for us to learn, and they've been really helpful, and they taught us a lot of things, honestly. I really appreciate everything that they have done for us.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Ola, because without you, this dissemination, which is also important, wouldn't have been
It's
possible.
my pleasure,
So-
Laura, and thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. I believe that everyone is going to at least learn one little thing.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank
See
you everyone for watching. Bye bye.